just filling up the wood box today. Well, I needed to fill up our firebox for in the garage, so I figured it was a good time to talk about seasoned firewood. Now, everybody knows that firewood has to be seasoned. Some of the reasons for that are a hotter burn, cleaner chimney, and a easier to start fire, right? But some people just take the word of the firewood delivery guy on whether it's seasoned or not. And I was watching a video from Allen Family Firewood, I think it is, from Southern Maine. They were delivering some firewood. And when they dropped it off and they dumped it out of their dump trailer, I could tell it was seasoned by the way that it sounded. A good seasoned hardwood sounds like, let me find a good piece to do this to. It sounds like bowling pins, okay? As I'm throwing these in the box, I can hear them hitting, and I know that I'm pulling from my dry stack because of the way they sound like bowling pins when you're bowling. And when they dumped their dump trailer, that's what it sounded like. Now, I do have a couple here that sound a little, see, hear that? Nice and echoey. That's a good one. I've got a couple that might be a little under-seasoned, and you can hear them almost kind of thud when they go in the stack. And it really depends on how they hit. But you basically want them sounding like, and I've heard other people talk about, they sound like a baseball bat. Well, I was never really around baseball bats enough to know really what that sounded like. But bowling pins, oh yeah. So that's my tip on how to know if they're seasoned, is by the way they sound when they come out of the trailer or the truck that's delivering them, or if you're cutting them yourself and you've got them stacked somewhere. And you know, if I was to bring my trailer over, or my tractor over here, and dump them to stack them, I could hear the way they're hitting together. And it's not a exact science. Of course, I have a moisture meter, and I am typically happy anything under 15. Now, let's also talk about this woodshed used to have fence panels along this side, and you could only get in from the other end. And this year, I took those down so that my first stacks that I'm going to get into are actually facing south. So that's south. The sun comes in all day long and cooks this first row. And I get that much more drier wood out of it. If I was to pull, and this is the same delivery. So if I were to pull one from back in the back a little bit further, it's going to have a little bit higher moisture content. So I use that, even though it's in the winter time, I use that winter sun to kind of dry those out just a little bit more. Now, I have my wood splitter here because in the fall, we may not burn all day long. So I chop up a little bit of kindling, throw some of those in there, because I do want to shut my stove down for a half a day or a day so I can clean the ash out of it. I try to do that about once a week. But in the wintertime, the stove stays going all day long, so I don't need a lot of kindling. And I'll actually put that wood splitter away pretty soon. This wood box that we have, it's actually a potato box. Holds about, well, I don't know, quarter of a cord maybe. That's what I typically put in it. Or maybe even just a half of a face cord. And this will dry out even just a little bit more in the garage. It's about a week and a half's worth of wood in the dead of winter. Right now it's about every 2 weeks I fill this up. Hear that? Oh. Oh yeah, that's a little better. No, not really. All right, we're going to call that good for now. So, like I said, it's important to have seasoned firewood. Gives you a better fire, a little hotter fire. Doesn't sit there and smolder. A smoldering fire is going to give you a lot of creosote in your chimney, as well as softwoods. We only use hardwood. Whew. It's cold out here. But it's going to burn better. It's going to start better. And it's a little lighter. So if you notice that you can't get a whole armful of wood because it's too heavy, well, it might still be wet. It's not seasoned enough. So use the sound of your wood to tell if it's dry. If it sounds like a couple of bowling pins, if it sounds like you hit a strike when they're dumping it out of the trailer, then you should be pretty good to go. That'll be at least under 15%. And the lower you can get from there, you know, the better. I'll burn anything under 15% moisture, and I do have a moisture meter. So that's that. All right, good quick video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.